afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Up for the Argument. I am your narrator and host, Gervone Alexander. That's good to hear if you're doing great. We're opening the box today because the high-stakes shockwaves are completely tearing apart the sports map and all over the world. Over the weekend, racing part-time phenom Corey Heim completely shocked the racing world by securing his historic crown jewel triumph at the famed Brickyard 400. Meanwhile, his competitor Todd Gilliland pulled off one of the greatest Cinderella runs through modern sports history, outlasting Ryan Blaney to capture the massive $1 million in-season challenge prize money. Oh yeah, y'all thought the sports world was just gonna stay quiet this summer? Y'all thought the corporate mainstream desks were ready for this kind of grassroots takeover? Let's stop playing games. We're talking about a 24-year-old part-time racer stepping onto the most famous track in the world and taking the checkered flag over the biggest names in the sport. But look over at the gridiron. The network this morning on the shows on ESPN, they just put up an explosive graphic tracking of the quarterbacks with the highest total Qbr who missed the postseason last year. And they are trying to tell you and me who is ready to sink or swim. But yes folks, me, I am stepping into this microphone today to lay down the definitive verdict on who is the comeback quarterback. That's right. We have your full training camp fantasy football fallout stock report, the official countdown to the 2026 Hall of Fame game in Canton, and we are opening up all-time conviction vault. That's right, to give an epic legendary, a multi-talent, a multi-light on his praise and deep dive. We're going to give flowers to the man who transformed the Los Angeles Lakers and the game of basketball forever, Earvin Magic Johnson. And we're charting his greatness from the day one in 1979 to his global impact with real, unarguable analytics. Turn up that sound. Let's party before we get this shit started, folks. A little bit, how about a little TTG? Today's Young Boy Day, by the way, folks. I'm going to give you a little Young Boy for the day where we partying, folks. I'm going to pop one. You going to work that too? Yeah. We'll be right back, folks, for Up for the Argument.
On my name, drop the change, get you changed. Big body range, you know we're not the same. Z06 got me retarded, supercharged in this bitch. They won't play me like a little boy, I stuck their hard in this bitch.
All right, folks. Welcome to Gervone Alexander's Up for the Argument. Real World officially ranked number 7 on FeedSpot's National Sports Podcast Charts. No big corporate network, just grassroots raw and filth conviction every single day. If y'all love the show, hit that subscribe button right here on your YouTube channel at Argumentation 77. Okay, we're opening up today's show with an absolute blockbuster racing breakdown from over the weekend. According to tracking metrics, finalized at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Corey Heim is your 2026 Brickyard 400 champion. The mainstream desk is stunned that a part-time driver owned the crown jewel. That's right, we're diving deep into the technical strategy to show why this victory alters the entire geography of NASCAR racing. Does Corey Heim winning the Brickyard 400 as a part-time driver prove he is definitely the next? Okay, guys, by the way, I just took my dog in. He was out in a big frenzy chasing the rabbit outside, and he's a little overweight, and you can hear him breathing. He's breathing for his little heart back there. So that's Gizmo, guys, and the show wouldn't be complete without Gizmo the Gremlin. So sorry to cut that topic short so I can finish now, so I can acknowledge that. Thank you very much. Okay, now does the grassroots upset connect to revolutionary schematics? Seen in basketball history? The short answer is absolute, definitive yes. And everybody's sleeping on an independent talent right now. They need to step back and look at the track analytics. Corey Heim is operating on a part-time schedule for this year's racing and a team co-owned by Michael Jordan, 23X1, and Denny Hamlin. I think both of them own that. So, and plus he steps in the car, he switches numbers. That's right. He drives off with the poise of a 10-year veteran on the most demanding track in the world. He outlasted Christopher Bell down the stretch while heavyweight champions like Kyle Larson completely lost traction and crashed out late. This isn't a fluke. Heim already captured a massive win. Naval base, look, at the naval base earlier this summer. Yeah, man, back to what I'm saying. I got sidetracked because my dog is scaring me right now, the way he's breathing, and I have to pay attention to him, and I attend to him. I got my humidifier on, so if you guys hear that in the background, forgive me. Has to be done in order for him to chill out a little bit. He freaks out, and I freak out with him. Now that that's on, and my show's completely halfway ruined in the beginning, he's laying there and not saying shit. You know. And we were just talking about Heim, yeah, the race car driver. And it pisses me off a little bit because, guys, I want to give y'all the best quality out here. And, I just don't understand Gizmo sometimes, bro. I think he sabotages me every time I try to do my show. He never leaves me alone. But I know you guys ain't tuning in here about me and this damn dog. So, let's finish what I was saying about Heim. He cashed that win at the naval base, right? And was it Coronado earlier? It was this summer, right? Yeah. And he forced his way into a full-time seat because of his operational efficiency and positioning under duress are completely unmatched by drivers with 10 times his funding. You know, people got way more money than him. He's kind of like a grassroots driver, you know? And they got more funding and sponsors and behind them, and they don't even measure up to this guy. And look at the absolute miracle pulled off by Todd Gilliland. The man entered the in-season challenge as a 25th seed underdog. Nobody in Charlotte or Daytona believed he could advance past the early rounds, but his crew chief, Chris Larson, drew up a high-stake tactical playbook. That's right. He did that in Indianapolis, as a matter of fact. And the former Cup champion, Ryan Blaney, looked completely destined to secure the bag. They wanted that money. But on lap 120, a critical pit collision damages Blaney's front wing, forcing an unscheduled stop. Gilliland capitalized on the chaos, and he held his lane and finished 2 positions ahead of Blaney to lock up a $1 million payday. The heart rate data shows his pulse was pounding over the final 25 laps, but he stood his ground against the corporate giants. David Goliath story in NASCAR, guys. When you see independent talent completely overturning the system like that, it forced me to open up the hardwood basketball archives and look only other franchise player who completely reconstructed an entire map through raw schematic vision. His name was Earvin Magic Johnson with the Los Angeles Lakers. And people want to talk about modern distribution and spread offenses today, but Magic invented the geography, the transition attack. He bent defenses to his will, not by outshooting them, but completely reconstructing the speed of the rebound and run. He proved that raw basketball IQ and spatial awareness can entirely disrupt the established hierarchy. You see, transition is very, 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 very important. When you get the rebound, you kick it out and go back down court. he had the vision to do that. So we're going deep into his lifetime metrics at the end of the show. But understand that the blueprint he laid down is the ultimate baseline of hardwood greatness. Now, back to this race car guy. Can a part-time racing operated like this guy who does the only part-time racing? Is this execution against fully funded manufactured teams with the big money? In terms of economics, off the Cup Series force of regression, is that a force of regression? Because you got all these people that got all this money. Now let me play now it's time for devil's advocate. We do this every show. It's time for me to play devil's advocate. Okay, now, let me play devil's advocate with myself for a quick second. Because the objective analyst in me wants to look at the financial side of the garage and say, Gervone, hold on. Corey Heim is a phenomenal talent. But part-time data can be highly deceptive. Fully funded corporate race. They have millions of dollars in engineering, simulation testing, and data tracking. All that depth that a part-time crew simply cannot replicate over a grueling 36-week schedule. It's a marketing mistake to crown him a superstar, right? Before he handles the regular season grind, right? Simulations look fantastic on computer screens, right? But they mean not absolutely a damn thing when you're heading into a turn at Indianapolis on 200 miles an hour. You cannot simulate raw instincts, man. In ice water veins, Corey Heim isn't winning because he has the most expensive car. No, he isn't winning because only the way he executes his flawless driving. Now, Denny Hamlin himself went on his podcast and admitted that Heim has the maturity to wait for the perfect development pocket reader so they can come and pay him, and jumping into a band full-time contract when you can out-quality and out-race elite championship veterans while driving a part-time chassis. You have the ultimate leverage in the garage. The corporate suits want to control the sport with deep pockets. But independent talent like Heim and Gilliard his name is Gilliland, they are proven, the names, I get them all the time, right? But they're proving that the track data and the track itself don't care about your money or your ledger. It cares about who slams the gas on the pedal with the most conviction and just let that bitch go. You understand that shit? Now, folks, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to take a commercial break. And now that my dog's chill, we can just relax on that shit. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, folks. We'll be back in about a couple seconds here. When you're down listening to the realest sports takes on the airwaves, you need real, authentic food that doesn't skip on the portions. That's why TheNatureboy goes straight to Sam's Son Eatery, right here in Shreveport, 1324 North Market Street. Stop letting corporate fast food lines give you them little itty-bitty portions, because Sam's is serving up massive, colossal-sized fried shrimp, huge catfish, fillets, heavy southern sides cooked with genuine local love. It's a grassroots powerhouse, just like this podcast. Pull up the Sam's Son Eatery on North Market Street, or give them a call right now, 318-425-2633. Tell them Gervone, the Nature Boy, sent you, and get your food fresh in 90 seconds. Gervone Alexander's up for the argument. Brought to you by Gervone Alexander Productions. Everybody hit that like, follow, and share, or subscribe. When you're tuning in your favorite podcast, turn right right into Gervone Alexander's Up for the Argument. Currently ranked number 7 in the Feed Spot National Sports Debate Podcast charts. We will deliver the greatest and the best sports podcast you ever heard. The most addictive podcast out there today, folks. And we give you the hottest, latest track data and great sports news. So when you miss your sports shows on TV and you want something cool to listen to on that commute to work, tune in to Gervone Alexander's Up for the Argument. Real sports talk. Gervone Alexander, brought to you by Gervone Alexander Productions. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, folks. And we're back off commercial break to Up for the Argument, folks. Welcome back to the show. Let's transition directly onto the gridiron desk because the major networks put up an elusive, explosive graph this morning that completely caught my attention. Yes, they did. They listed quarterbacks with the highest total QBR who missed the postseason last year. Minimum 5 starts. Dak Prescott at 70.2. Patrick Mahomes at 68.5. Daniel Jones at 63.0. Joe Burrow at 63.0. And Lamar Jackson, that's right, Lamar Jackson is 62.7. We need to run through these names and separate the statistical anomalies from the real franchise saviors to the losers. Shifting through 5 high QBA stars. Which quarterback is definitely positioned to be the ultimate bounce back player of the year? Okay, well, when you look at this list, the mainstream media wants you to look at Dak Prescott's 70.2 metric and claim Downs is already a lock. But I am looking extensively at Cincinnati. And I'm telling you right now that Joe Burrow is the absolute, unadulterated #1 bounce-back quarterback in the National Football League. Let's break down the tape, okay? When Joe Burrow is healthy, the man is an absolute assassin in the pocket. People forget that his season-ending injury sidelined him. Burrow was completing over 67% of his passes and demonstrating the elite cold-blooded pre-snap progression that dragged the Bengals back-to-back AFC Championship games. And a Super Bowl berth. Look, he enters this season with a completely re-engineered protective line, right? Am I not mistaken, they fixed that line, right? A highly motivated Jamar Chase on the perimeter and an absolute fire lit under him. His metric of 63.0 while playing compromise last year proves his floor is higher than most quarterback ceilings. Joe Burrow doesn't just play quarterback. He controls the entire tempo of the franchise under duress. And he is going to reclaim his top-tier elite status from week 1. Now, right behind him at number 2, I'm placing Dak Prescott. Dak is sitting at the top of this graph with the 70.2 QBR, despite missing out on January football. And the pressure is big, blue, astronomical. But Dak is in the contract year, operating under an aggressive Brian Sideliner offense. That system in the whole is very, very cool. And he's an elite perimeter weapons like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. He will put up massive dominant regular season numbers because he is highly efficient at sorting out coverage in the intermediate zones. See, Patrick Mahomes is on the list at 68.5, but Mahomes doesn't bounce back because his baseline is already legendary. Daniel Jones and Lamar Jackson have massive hurdles to clear, but when it comes to a pure franchise-altering reclamation project, Joe Burrow is holding all the cards, with Dak sitting right behind him on his bumper. Okay, folks, now we're moving directly into our third major block of the afternoon. Unpacking our official fantasy football stock report, tracking the immediate training camp fallout. The pads are clicking across the league, and the medical reports are completely rearranged draft boards as we speak. Which training camp, stock movement are absolute gold mines for fantasy league managers? And which organizations are signaling red flags that demand a complete downgrade on draft day? Okay, folks, let's talk a little fantasy football here. Let's look at the elite stock tier first. Patrick Mahomes being fully cleared with absolute non-medical restrictions on day one of Kansas City camp is a massive sigh of relief for fantasy managers. Okay? It completely removes the early round medical risk and safety vaults him right back into the top tier elite quarterback conversation. Up in Minnesota, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson are getting a massive security boost because the Vikings locked in Pro Bowl tackle Brian O'Neill through a 2020. Damn, Gizmo, my dog is tripping out. Could you lay down and chill? You scared me, bro. Dog scares me, man. Chill out. Yeah, man, they're getting a massive security boost because the Vikings locked in Pro Bowl tackle Brian O'Neill through 2030. So with that passing pocket secured by Brian O'Neill, that's going to give them a better chance at raising those fantasy football stats up. The consistency of the entire aerial attack is safe, and down in Indy, Daniel Jones' full go means his primary pass catchers are getting immediate high-level chemistry reps, which elevates the early season fantasy floor that entire offense. But y'all no need to run away from the stock down, right? They don't, you know what I'm saying? Because Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay is absolute flashing red light. His contract talks have completely stalled out. And to make matters worse, his elite defensive anchor, Vita just dropped a public trade demand. That is massive organizational distraction right there that downgrades Mayfield into a highly risque quarterback 2 lane. And look at the defensive side of the ball. The Pittsburgh Steelers secondary is heavily compromised on day one because both Jalen Ramsey and Joey Porter Jr. hit the PUP list. Opposing passing offenses are going to get an immediate fantasy bump against that secondary early in the year. Combine that with the Chicago Bears, D starting line camp short-handed because Kyler Gordon is on the PUP and TJ Edwards is in the NFI list because of his calf strain. And your early season defensive screaming value is completely capped. Pay attention to the data, people. Camp realities tell the story before the season even starts. Now let's pivot the conversation directly to the countdown to live football, because the official 2026 Hall of Fame and Week 1 preseason schedule is locked in. We are days away from seeing helmets collide in Canton, Ohio, and the rookie evaluations are about to take center stage. Gizmo, that's my shoe, brother. Jesus Christ. What's up with you today, man? All right, the question is, What are the critical schematic storyline fans need to track across the Hall of Fame matchup and early week 1 preseason offenders? Okay. When you look at the calendar, the excitement is real because live football is finally back on our screens. It kicks off on Thursday, August the 6th with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, featuring the Houston Texans taking on the Chicago Bears live on NBC. This game isn't about veterans. It's about the deep roster architecture. Houston is looking to see how their backup offensive line depth holds up under game conditions, while Chicago is unveiling their new structural defensive rotations under the lights. Then the following week, preseason week 1 opens up hot. On Thursday night, August the 13th, with the New England Patriots hosting the Carolina Panthers on NFL networks. This is where the eyes of the football world will be focused because the rookie quarterback Drake Maye will be getting live first team execution reps to see if his progression speed matches his elite arm velocity. Okay? So finally on Saturday, August the 15th, we get our preseason week 1 kind of feature game. Is with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be going to Jacksonville, and it's going to be on local broadcast feeds. Even though Andy Reid will only run his starters for a single series, tracking how young wide receiver depth blocks out on the perimeter will give us the ultimate baseline look at how these teams are built for the long haul this season coming up. Preseason isn't about the scoreboard. It's about separating the guys who know the playbook from the guys who are going to get cut before the September. Red card in the locker. K your ass home. Goodbye-bye. Okay, folks. We're going to go into another commercial break before we go into our ending segments. So just bear with me, folks. We'll be right back after the next 90 seconds on Up for the Argument. Up for the Argument, brought to you by Gervone Alexander Productions. Broadcasting live in Gervone Alexander Studios, Shreveport, Louisiana. When it comes to true, authentic, slow smoke pit barbecue, you cannot fake the progress or the process. You can argue with a lot of things in this world, but you cannot argue with the smoke ring, the bark, and the melt in your mouth perfection you get every single day at Buck's Barbecue. They aren't cutting corners with gas grills or cheap shortcuts. Buck's treat barbecue like an absolute elite science. We're talking about premium beef brisket, smoked low and slow over pure hickory wood for hours. Falling off the bone ribs and savory sausage that treats and sets the standard for the room when you want real, honest barbecue where the smoke is real and the meat is king. You pack up the crew and head straight to Buck's Barbecue on North Market. And you tell them Gervone, TheNatureboy Alexander sent you. And let them take care of dinner tonight. Buck's Barbecue, North Market Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. Up for the Argument is chasing that #1 spot on Feed Spot National's Feeds Board for sports podcasting on their charts, National Podcast List. We're currently sitting at number 7. Well, we had number 12 a few weeks ago. But then we want the #1 spot. So guys, like, follow, subscribe, share to Gervone Alexander's Up for the Argument. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you get your favorite podcast from. Be sure to tune in for Gervone Alexander's Up for the Argument. And thanks for the love and your support. Never be the same. Never be the same. Yeah. Gervone Alexander. Brought to you by Gervone Alexander Productions. So pardon me while I buzz to play. We'll be back for the argument in a few more seconds, folks. Thanks for your patience. Welcome back to the Runners as up for the argument. And we're closing out today's show, folks, and today's broadcast by opening up the highest bout of basketball history for our daily piece where we cast aside the modern noise, give a light of praise and honor to a true legend today. We are paying special tribute and giving the ultimate long form, deep dive flowers to the man who saved the Los Angeles Lakers and transformed the entire sport of basketball forever, Earvin Magic Johnson. When you look back at the history of the game, there's a clear line of demarcation. There is basketball before Earvin Magic Johnson. Yes, there is. And there is basketball after him. Let's lay out the stone cold, unarguable metrics for the kids who are too busy looking at modern social media clips on YouTube. 5-time NBA champion, 3-time league MVP, 3-time finals MVP, 9 times all NBA first team selection. He averaged 19 points, 5 points, 7.2 rebounds. Let me get this right. He averaged 19.5, 7.2 rebounds, and an absolute mind-blowing 11.2 assists per game. Get that through your brain. Which remained the highest career assist average in the history of the National Basketball League. But his legacy goes way beyond the box score. Magic Johnson walked into the floor in 1979 as a 6'9" point guard with a megawatt smile and a passive vision that completely revolutionized how this sport was played. He orchestrated the Showtime Lakers. Showtime, baby. Turning basketball into an art form, a fast break track meet, a global entertainment phenomenon. He single-handedly raised the popularity of the league out of the mucky middle of the tape-delivered era and put it under the brightest international spotlight there's ever been in. Let's chart this journey from the absolute beginning to understand the level of dominance we are praising today. Let's go back, first of all. In 1979, the Los Angeles Lakers, that's right, my Los Angeles Lakers, they drafted this kid out of Michigan State with the number 1 overall pick. The league was struggling. Attendance was down. And the game lacked flair and pizzazz and any kind of appeal. Magic Johnson walked into the forum and instantly changed the temperature of the entire sport. In his very first season as a 20-year-old rookie, he drives the Lakers straight into the 1980 finals against the 76ers. Game 6 rolls around in Philly. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the league MVP, and the structural anchor of the team is stuck back in Los Angeles with a massive sprained ankle. The corporate media is writing the Lakers' obituary. Now, what does the rookie do? I'll tell you what he does. He boards the plane, walks into the arena, starts at center as a 6'9" guard, and drops 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals to capture the world championship and his first finals MVP. That's not just talent. That's an unprecedented baseline of competitive authority from day one. Now, from there, he enters the legendary 1980s gauntlet against Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics, the rivalry, Bird, Magic. A decade-long war literally saved the MVP from extension. Magic didn't just compete. He redefined point guard analytics. He weaponized the fast break, turning defensive rebounds into instant transition point scoring runs through no-look cross-court lasers into the hands of James Worthy and Byron Scott. That's right, passing with his eyes closed, literally. In 1987, he secured his second league MVP and meets Boston again in the finals. Game 4 on the parquet floor of the Boston Garden. The Lakers were down with 1 second on the clock. Magic takes the inbound drives across the lane and unleashes the iconic junior skyhook right over the outstretched arms of Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish to steal the victory. He finished that series averaging 26 points, 13 assists, proving that clutch index that he has is entirely unassailable when the lights were on the brightest. By the time he walked away from the game, he had anchored 9 NBA final appearances in 12 seasons. Think about that structural efficiency. If Magic Johnson was in the league, you had a 75% statistical probability of seeing the Los Angeles Lakers playing for a world championship in June. He revolutionized the game on a global level. The geography of basketball popularity was booming, paving the way for multi-million-dollar modern-era singles, current player profits from today. We're giving his absolute comprehensive flowers on this broadcast because there has never been a point guard since who can match his size, his transcendent passing vision on the court, his ruthless winning percentage, or his historic impact on the culture of the Los Angeles Lakers. That's right, Earvin, Magic Johnson, is the blueprint of the absolute basketball king, and his throne will never be replaced. The game always comes down to the foundation family. From blockbuster racetrack upsets to high-stakes training camp fantasy stock updates, and the legendary blueprint of icons like Magic Johnson. Authenticity and historical data will always outlast the media hype. Appreciate the independent platforms that give it to you raw, real, and unfiltered every single day without checking with a fucking broadcast media person out there trying to be corporate and tell me what to say. No corporate boards first. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right here on our YouTube channel at Argument Nation 77. Leave a comment with your takes below. Share this video or this podcast and help us keep building this independent powerhouse. Now, we've dropped the real metrics. We've laid out the facts. And the argument is officially settled. But then again, you can argue with the data. But after it all, you can't argue with the truth I'm giving you that's staring you right in your face. And that's the argument made. That's all for today's show, folks. We'll see you a little later, folks. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe out there. Much love. Good night. You guys show me so much love when I say good night, folks. I mean, be safe and be careful. Show your loved ones love. If you're going to argue sports, argue respectfully. Respect debate, folks. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you came here with me tonight, and I appreciate that, folks. And once again, thanks for coming out. Be safe. And arguments made. We'll see you tomorrow, folks, for Up for the Argument. She won't be my little baby. All they did is fight it when the pack touched down. It's good, right? That's right. Good show, guys. Trap uptown. Give me that money, that nigga, you knowing that I'ma do right with it. Private Up for the Argument was brought to you by Gervone Alexander Productions, broadcasted live at Gervone Alexander Studios, Shreveport, Louisiana.
She wanted nobody. I went out and got her some hands to live. Right independently, showing no sympathy. Don't let the industry gas and even when bought me some diamonds, I did it for money, but I never really been flashy with it. Kicking myself in the ass, I was handed the face of a snake on a bag, my kidney.
I'm gonna say it. You heard me? That fall? Shit. The fallback game official. Look, man. Look at Bronson. I'm gonna speak for him. They take it out on me. With Maceo IG, I really fuck with dude for real. Big gangster, I turn around and fall in love. Cocaine a slango. Turn around, I'm showing up. Surrounded by the angels. Turn around, I'm showing up. Yeah, ain't bad. She say I only been excited with a touchdown. I want to thank everybody. Been fun. Good night. Bitch, I'm a big gangster. I turn around with that foreign love. Cocaine a slango. Just hard enough.